Hi dears, nice meeting you once again. Louis Das from English EC Louis channel. Hope you are all fine by the grace of God and a relaxed ways of doing things these days. If you had noticed in my previous videos, we concentrated on the preparation for TRB examinations, and all those who appeared for the TRB examinations, I am sure who have found it extremely helpful. And I found myself there were about 8 to 10 questions from the discussions that I had with regard to TRB PG English examination point of view. So I hope you are waiting in a positive sense for the results, that is to appear in few months time. So what am I going to do in this video, my dears? I thought we could focus once again on spoken English. It has been a long time since I concentrated on spoken English, though I had uploaded many videos on spoken English. But I thought to help you to understand in a different perspective, like how to train our mouth, in order to pronounce the words well in terms of spoken English. Training the mouth to speak English. See? Training the mouth to speak English. What's that? Training the mouth to speak English? Of course, we use our mouth to speak any kind of language. But this is not proper in terms of understanding and pronouncing the words in English correctly. And unless we concentrate on the pronunciation of the words and the movements of our mouth by opening, closing, widening, broadening, narrowing down our mouths to various types of sentences we utter from our mouth, our pronunciation or our way of speaking may not be understood correctly by the others. So, what I thought, of course, you may have listened to various videos and you have listened to various speakers and speeches by various dignitaries, how to use your mouth, what concentrations to be done in order to use our mouth and the movements of the muscles of the mouth in with regard to the speaking of English. So here I am with my little knowledge and understanding. I thought it would be better if I could guide you, those who are really preparing yourselves to become efficient and proficient speakers, professional speakers of English. So I have actually prepared about 6 to 7 criteria, which I thought would be of great help to all those who wish to improve your standard of English in speaking in a special manner. The first thing I have taken is to focus on our daily exercises. See, focus on daily exercises. What does it mean when I say focusing on our daily exercises? It means that we tend to speak English fluently to some extent with our limited knowledge or with sufficient knowledge for some people, for a few people. But again, we don't pay attention to our movements of the mouth, whether our speech or our conversation is understood by the people who listen to us. So, in order to become aware of these circumstances, realities, I thought it would be better that if you continue to concentrate on the daily exercises. Now, what do I mean by daily exercises? It is nothing but using few tongue twisters every day and tell them aloud. Open our mouth and tell those tongue twisters in a louder manner, shouting. So let me give an example. I'm just giving only one of the examples of daily exercises. So let me say this tongue twisters. You may have several tongue twisters. Thousands and thousands of tongue twisters you may have learned and practice them. But have you ever noticed when we say these tongue twisters, how do we move our mouth? See, for example, she sells seashells by the seashore, or she sells she sells seashells on the seashore. Now there are how many words? She sells seashells by the seashore. So there are 8 words combined together for us to pronounce this beautiful and lovely tongue twister. Now when we say this tongue twister, see, she, look at my mouth, she, and here observe the pronunciation, sh sound, it's ish sound, one of the difficult phonetics that we are not able to pronounce correctly. Sh sound. Sh is different from s, and this is sh, she. E sound also is mentioned there, longer vowel. See, e. Cells, s sound. She sells shells by the seashore. See, she, look at my mouth. Sells, look at my mouth. Seashells on. See, look at my mouth, oval shape. On the seashore. Shore. See, when we pronounce the words correctly and our mouths get practiced and mouth get exercises. So if we say number of these tongue twisters louder, faster, day by day, every now and then, our pronunciation becomes clearer and clearer so that it is understood. She sells seashells on the seashore. See, give Papa a proper cup of coffee in a proper copper coffee cup. See, so there are thousands and thousands of tongue twists there. So that's what I thought. Pay attention to our daily exercises, especially concentrating on few tongue twisters and say them louder. Now, what is this practicing exercises have to do with our mouth? Of course, it may look very simple, but with very little practice, with very little criteria, with very little reason that we have to improve our pronunciation, tongue twisters are needed. And tongue twisters is one of the exercises that we have in English for us to improve our spoken English. Okay? And then the second tool or second help that I have for you is that read aloud. Read aloud. Read aloud. See, English books, articles, magazines, and so on. Magazines and so on. Now, when I say read aloud, the difficulty that we have as we grow older and older, my dears, as we grow older and older, what happens now? When we were kids, teachers have taught us rhymes, alphabets with songs, and how to pronounce and able to pronounce the alphabets correctly by singing them. And of course, there were few tongue twisters, there were a few rhymes by which we were able to speak and shout, of course, with the correct pronunciation, because of which few of us are able to pronounce the words correctly, and whatever we speak is understood clearly by the others. All right. So, my dears, reading the newspapers every day, reading magazines every day, reading various articles from newspapers every day would certainly help us to improve our spoken English, and also it will help us to move our mouth. The more we speak, louder, the more our language becomes beautiful, language becomes clear and clearer, and we also have the tendency, we also have the satisfaction of our intention, our efforts. So, read as many books as possible, textbooks, for example. So, what happens now when I say read aloud? As we grow older and older, our reading becomes silent, even when we were students. And there are few students who continuously watch my channel. Now, those who are in higher secondary, you may have developed a silent reading, because we know that by reading silently, our concentration increases. Our concentration increases. But when we were kids, when we were children, we were asked to read aloud and memorize those days. But nowadays, memorization is not at all desired, because memorizing and answering and speaking is not a great way of improving our skills in speaking. So therefore, as we grow older and older, when we read textbooks, for examination point of view, of course, we read silently and in a silent room, so that we may not have the outside disturbances, outward disturbances. So we concentrate more. But of course, few of us still have the tendency of reading aloud for us to improve our pronunciation. So it does not matter. It does not matter. But whether we read aloud or silently, the problem is, or the point is, that we have to use our mouth in a continuous sense. And of course, when we read silently, we just read with our minds. So our mouths don't move, and my mouth doesn't move. See, when I read silently, I just look at the sentences and just keep on reading between the lines. That's all. Okay. So the third thing, what I have taken here as a guide to improve our concentration or improve our spoken English by improving the muscles and the movements of the muscles of our mouths. See, this is what I have written. Can you read that? Yes, what is that? Repeat usual phrases, like how are you today? Repeat usual phrases. Now, when I say repeat usual phrases, it could be phrases, phrasal verbs, and then sentences. Usual sentences that we usually use to speak with our friends, with our colleagues, with our neighbors, and with our friends in the classrooms, and so on. Now, when I say how are you today, look at the movements of my mouth. How are you? These are all sentences we tend to practice every day, asking the well-wish, asking the situation of our friends. So, how are you today? Today. How are you today? See, how are you you today. See, look at the movements of the mouth. Look at the movements of the mouth. How are you today? Can you help me? Will you help me? Or may I help you? Could you pass me the salt, or could you pass me the water? Could you lend me your pen? Would you lead me to the other side of the road? So these are all few normal sentences, normal phrases, and we use every day to improve our standard of English. Now, of course, those who are native speakers, it may be easy for them. But to those who are looking English as a second language, we will have to concentrate on these type of helps and guidance that is provided by many others like me would be of great help to you. That's why I said use the words like this. How are you today? And when you say how are you today, depends upon the mood in which we speak also. When we are angry, if a person comes to meet us, we don't say how are you today. Maybe our own friends may wish us to ask them how are you today. So for the sake of asking them, when we are angry, how do you say that? How are you today? And of course, when we go to hospitals to meet our friends who are hospitalized in beds, how are you today? Are you feeling better? Are you all right? We trust you. We believe you. We love you. Don't worry. See the way that we speak our words. Okay? And as we are running urgently to some places, so a person comes to talk to us. Sir, excuse me, sir. Maybe we know the person already. So because of our hurrying, we don't say, hey, I know you. How are you? How are you today? Are you all right? How are you? How are you today? I'll see you later. See you later. See? So how are you today? So like that, take one or two sentences and say them in a different sense, different perspective, different situations. We will know the importance of them. Okay? We know the importance of them. So, and one of the most important factors that I thought it would be nice for you is talk in front of a mirror. Talk in front of a mirror. See? Talk in front of a mirror. This is the best practice that I would say for those who wish to become efficient speakers of English or to speak English. You go and stand in front of the mirror and open your mouth and look at yourself, observe the movements of your mouth. Maybe you can sing a song or memorize, or you can even say a poem, or you can say the answer that you already memorized. And look at your facial expressions and the movements of your mouth. The movements of your mouth. How beautiful and how nice it would be. And not only going and standing in front of the mirror and talking and observing the movements of your mouth. No, record it. Record it and then listen to it. Listen to it. Whether what you spoke in front of the mirror is understood properly. So by doing this on and often, we have the ability to improve our pronunciation. Where do we go wrong? Now, why did we make that mistakes? What made us to feel bad on that particular situation? Why did we hesitate to pronounce the word correctly? See, all these questions may come into our lives. So go and stand in front of the mirror and speak louder, and record yourself and listen to it. You would see the difference, my dears. You would see the difference. See? And then, that's what I have said. Record your voice, pronunciation, and listen to it. Record your voice, the pronunciation, and listen to your speaking. That's most important. And then see, never be afraid of making mistakes. All right? Never be afraid of making mistakes. This is what we tend to do sometimes, and we feel inferior of ourselves. There is nothing wrong in making mistakes. There is no one in the world perfect. See? So do not worry when you make mistakes. There are times we make mistakes, but then try to learn from them and improve from it. That's what I ask you to go and stand in front of the mirror and speak and speak, so that you would become aware of the places where you made mistakes, how you made that mistake, and all that. So never be worried. Oh, I made that mistake. And don't worry about others and their comments. We are our judges, and we know ourselves, and we have to improve ourselves. Of course, suggestions are welcome when you are in difficulty in understanding and pronouncing the words correctly. You can go and seek guidance from the professionals, experienced teachers, experienced professors, and all that. But without going for any guidance, just simply and then go on talking, saying that, okay, I cannot speak, I cannot speak, I cannot speak. All this will not help, my dears. All this will not help. And finally, what I thought would be, learn to sing simple songs. Learn to sing simple songs. Learn to sing simple songs. Now, by this, I don't mean that all of us want to be great singers. No. Our target is to improve the pronunciation. So there are many thousands and thousands of small songs in English. So if we try to sing louder, open our mouth, our pronunciation becomes better, efficient, and understood by the others. And of course, if you are a musician, you are doubly gifted. Music and language go hand in hand. For example, let me sing a small or one or two lines for you. Morning has broken like the first morning. See, morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. See how many words we are pronouncing. Now you can say morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. So instead of saying the words, morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for them springing. See, all these words you can sing. Excuse me. So this is what I mean, my dears, when we try to sing, and there are little tongue twisters also we can sing. Do not worry whether we are singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or Humpty Dumpty Sat on the Wall. All these things are there, so we can sing them. Don't feel shy. Don't feel inferior. These are all helps for us provided to improve our standard of English. Remember, remember, my dears, if we have sufficient and more than sufficient spoken English, and if you are able to express our thoughts through spoken English very well, and we become internationally famous, and there is no doubt about that. So try to concentrate on this today. So before I close this video for the time being, remember to watch this video completely and just guess what I have suggested. Are they going to be any help to you? And try to practice it. Try to practice it. Try to practice it. We all know that practice makes a person perfect, but then the problem becomes, when are we going to practice? We have to allot time, ideas. All right. So therefore, how to train our mouth to speak? How to train our mouth to speak? See, training the mouth to speak English. Training the mouth to speak English. Okay. So I wish you all, my dears. I hope this video would be of great help to you. Watch it. Continue to watch. Inform your neighbors to subscribe my channel once again, and let me take this opportunity to thank sincerely all those who give your suggestions for me. So whenever I get an opportunity, I just try to help you in a simple way that I could, with the experience that I have in the line of teaching, thinking that all this will be of great help to all those who become, or who want to, or wish to become efficient and competent English speakers. Thank you very much. God bless you. See you in the next video. Thank you very much.